Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cup of Joe with Joe and Joe podcast. I am your host, Joe, and with me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, a Joe.
Oh man, that was a poor slurp.
That was
That was a poor one.
I didn't even hear a slurp there.
It was brutal. I missed. Not good. It's all right. We'll do better next time, and I'll practice.
Wonderful. So, Chainsaw Man, episode 3. Joe, these first two episodes of Chainsaw Man, I must confess, not myself disappointed. I can't do the full quote here, but there was like that little bit of something missing for me in these first two episodes of the adaptation. Me being the superior manga reader, of course. But with episode 3, I gotta say, I think they found that little panache that I've been waiting for. Because holy fuck, I love this episode.
Not just a little bit of the panache, the whole lot of panache.
Oh, the panache, baby! What did you think of this?
I kind of was caught off guard.
How so?
I was not ready for the intensity. When the moment happened, I knew it was coming. I'm like, all right, it's gonna happen, right? I'm like, is this the direction where they're going? And then it was the quick cut of them both drawing their weapons. I was like, fuck, all right, now we're getting serious. And after that, it was just batshit wild.
Haha, very funny. Yeah. So we fucking get the little interaction between Power and Denji in the beginning, where clearly Power's a cat person and Denji's a dog person, so obviously they'd be at odds just in general with that sort of shit. But Denji finds out that she also had a pet and she's lost that pet, and now she kind of wants to get that pet back. And in exchange for helping her get the pet, what does Power offer Denji, Joe?
A nice old handful of booby.
Yep. Perfectly mature television for all ages.
Honestly, though, that's a pretty solid deal. Think about it. It's in Denji's favor.
I mean, yeah, it isn't. That's why he wants to do it. But yeah. So then Power betrays him, and he gets brought to the Bat Devil because the Bat Devil is like, I need to drink human blood or whatever the fuck to regenerate an arm. And then the bastard just eats the cat anyway. And then Power gets all depressed, and then Denji goes all homicidal because, in his words, he took his tits. And then the action, like the thing we're all here for in Chainsaw Man, it's like we want the crazy storytelling from Fujimoto, which we're getting, and then it's like, all right, and now you're getting the action that was promised. Like the fight between Chainsaw Man and like the Zombie Devil back in like episode 1, it was cool. Remember, I still was like, it was kind of like it was missing that little something on top for me. The fight with him and the Bat Devil, holy fucking shit. Like, it was switching between, like, a 2D drawn Denji, like, zipping around doing all this crap, and then, like, this 3D model that they're using for him for some of the more complicated shit. But, like, all the fight choreography, all of the voice acting, all of the animation in this, I was just like, this is where Chainsaw Man begins for me. This is fucking epic.
Fight had me drooling. It was so fun. Honestly, my favorite part is when the Bat Devil is like, "Holy fuck, you're still alive!" and he's like, "Get away from me!" And that gets back to they kind of tie that in with the whole. We don't get a lot of Miss Makima. We do get a very nice air view of Miss Makima in this episode, if you know what I mean, Joe. And I was very appreciative of that. But we don't get too much of her. One thing we do get is a little bit about info about, how these devils get their powers. And they're like, the ranking system, I guess you would say. It's based off, if you're the devil of whatever, that's something that people are really like if they fear it or scared by it, it makes you more powerful. She slowly breaks it down, and she kind of like throws it out there. I wonder how powerful a chainsaw devil would be. And I forget, is it Akko or something like that?
Aki.
Just Aki. He kind of has the eye bulge where he realizes like, oh fuck, she's smarter than me.
Yeah, we always notice that she's smarter than him, but Yeah, it's that realization where he's just like, oh yeah, I never thought about it that way because I chainsaws are typically a pretty feared power tool. Perhaps one of the most feared tools. Like, what you got a fucking got a hammer, got a screwdriver, got a regular saw. But what if we took that
Hmm.
saw and we put it on an oblong shape and then we had it move at incredibly fast speeds? Now that's a wee bit scarier. So yeah, like the potential for him power wise is much higher than like the fucking tomato devil that we saw in episode one. Um, but yeah, so I just really want to pick your brain with like all this shit that like you're learning here between like what Power's motivations are. We get a bit of her backstory in this too. So like, what are your thoughts on like where she came from, how she acts around Makima? Because you get a little bit of that as well, which is very different to how Denji acts around Makima. Um, and just again, we'll delve more into this fight scene because fuck, I want to talk about this fight scene a lot. But like, what are your thoughts on like some of the shit that you get with Power and her backstory and her interactions with other characters?
Her all her scenes are drawn gorgeously,
Yes.
and the lighting is gorgeous, and the contrast of that beautiful lighting, and then it like does a quick cut, and you realize the thing she's talking to or is with is dead. It's just her and the cat. Like the scene with the cow, I was like, holy fuck. Um, there's a couple of close-up scenes. I think it's when she's talking to the cat, and it like cuts back and forth, and you see like a really close up of her with her eyes and the hair everywhere. Oh my God, I was mesmerized. It looked amazing. I loved her backstory. I love the pacing right now. Um, she continues to be one of my favorite characters. She is by like once she started walking, and I'm like, this is literally what happened to you in the first episode, Denji. He says, "Hey, I have a devil for you to kill." Takes you to an abandoned place, and you're like, "Oh, where's the devil?" And then boom, they turn on you. Learn your lesson, Denji. And so I knew it was coming. I learned my lesson. When it did happen, I was like, all right, she's a lot more complex than I thought she was at first.
Yeah. That little wrinkle right there that you're just like, ooh, okay. Um, and then also again, I love the way that she acts because she's such I'm trying to think of the right phrase other than a bitch. Um, she's such a bitch when it comes to what happens immediately after, like during the cleanup of the cucumber devil or the sea cucumber devil after she like smashed the shit out of it and trying to blame everything on Denji. And then Denji is, still the mentality of like a fucking 4-year-old. So he's just like, no, it was her. Did not. No, you did not. And it was like all that sort of crap. And then Makima is just like, calm down. And then Power immediately acquiesces and starts sweating. And Denji's just like, what the fuck? But I was like, all right. And I'm just like the switch of that. I just fucking love that. It's so good. I like it a lot.
Also, maybe I misheard it when I watched the episode, but when he activated the chainsaw devil and he was talking to my goodness, to the bat devil, it sounded like the way he worded something like, "Oh, you thought I would save him" or something like that. It made it sound like it was from Pochita talking, or am I imagining that?
Uh, no,
Mm.
yeah, you're imagining that. Like Denji isn't a hero. Like he's very much in this right now for selfish reasons, and like the only reason he's fighting this Bat Devil is because he wants to touch Power's tits.
It just, yeah, it was just a little confusing. I'm like, wait a minute, is it supposed to be like now when it goes that way, like Pochita takes over?
No, it's
Or
nothing
is
like
it
that.
no? Okay,
Yeah, I don't
okay.
want
I
you
just wanted the
thinking
clarification.
there's no like moment where he hollows out and it is all of a sudden like
Yeah,
he's taken over by Puchita.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like nah,
yeah.
he's just like think back to his backstory and like his flashbacks. He's never killed devils for anything but selfish reasons. He started doing it so he could make money to give back to the Yakuza because otherwise they would fucking murder him. And then now he's just doing it to try and survive because he's the weapon of the public safety devil extermination force. And at that very moment, he's doing it only because the bat ate Power and he wants to get her back. I'm assuming 90% so he can touch her tits, and then another 10% for like some emotional, boring person reasons thrown in there. It's sprinkled in there somewhere. I don't know. But hey, anyway, the fight with the Bat Devil. Jesus fuck, I love it so much.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was Bat Devil. I love him too. For a character that was so short lived, he's so cool.
He's so well animated. Like the way he moves with his musculature and like the fur on his body. Like I'm sitting there and watching that shit and remembering about how Mappa switched over to uh 3D models for like all the Titans because Titans are some of the hardest shit to animate because of all the intricate line work and all that crap. And I'm looking at how they're animating this big old bat dude and I'm just like, is this not the same kind of shit? Which of course they're two different, groupings of people working on two different things. And there's a hell of a lot more Titans and Attack on Titan than there are like big old bat devils and Chainsaw Man. But I was just watching them animate that and I was like, fuck, that looks so good. And then the way Denji moves around, how he's like so fucking he almost looks like Spider-Man, you know?
Yes.
He's like crouching around,
Yes.
flinging himself all over the place, just trying to like get himself wherever. I love this shot where he's running at the Bat Devil throws out a punch, he hooks his chainsaw in, and then uses that momentum to glide with his chainsaw still in his arm, up his arm, to the Bat Devil's face. And I'm just like, God, that's so cool looking.
Yeah, that was a sick part. Then the thing I keep forgetting about the devils is like their actual like display them as like actual like beings. So like when he slices open his stomach, guts fall out, like actual organs, and I was like, that is sick.
Yeah. It's not just a blank space or whatever the fuck. And also, clearly they're not being censored by anything. I mean, I'd hope they wouldn't be, considering that it's a fucking anime called Chainsaw Man. But it's just good to see that they actually give it the brutality and gruesomeness that it had in like the original shit. Because in the actual like source material, it is very bloody. It is you see all sorts of internal organs. So getting to see that like actually animated with all this stuff and like the color work in this, oh my god, it's incredible. And I love the fact that they like switch it up. So I don't know if they're doing it just stylistically or if it's actually like devil blood and guts are like this weird pinky purple thing because like the sea cucumber devil was like the same thing when it was smashed by power. It was like all purple and pink shit, and then when he cuts open bat, it's all like purple and pink and like weird shades of indigo or whatever. Um, so I'm curious if like that's just like the blood that these devils have, or if it's just done stylistically to differentiate like Chainsaw Man and then them because he's obviously very red. Like he bleeds red, his head is red, all that sort of crap. All of Power's movesets are red, so it's like keep the good guys red, keep the bad guys purple.
Yeah, no, I think that's pretty on point. They got their colors right, man.
Mm-hmm.
It just looks so clean. I'm really, I'm still at a like I had no clue what I was walking into this episode. I have no clue what I'm walking into next episode. I am literally I am blind
We
to
have
this series.
blindfolded you and put you on like King Dakar, and you're just like, oh shit.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, are we there yet? I'm like, I don't even know what's happening right now.
Joe,
Um,
don't ask, are we there yet? You are there. You have been there since episode one. It's just the ride. You're on it and enjoy it.
oh boy, I'm not sure I'm ready.
You are not, but that is part of the fun. Um, Also, the ending of this one,
Oh,
it's my favorite.
oh,
I don't think
oh
any
my God.
it is like the perfect
Oh my God.
encapsulation, like all the intensely saturated, almost neon-esque colors going on with the visuals, the insanity of the song, and like the pacing of it all. I'm just like, this is the like if of the three that we've had so
Kidding
far,
me.
and of the nine that we're going to get, I don't think any of them are going to top this one for me because this is in my mind, this perfectly encapsulates the pure mayhem that is this narrative, and I fucking love this ending so much.
Yeah, it's I loved it too. When it was happening, I was like, when the first song had when the first switch happens, I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, that really caught me off guard, and I was just vibing. It was such a good ending.
I'm fucking vibing, baby. Yeah. Um, I think that's all that I wanted to talk about. Do you have anything else that you want to bring up for this episode?
It was just so consistent, and I honestly, I nothing has been. I've never watched anime as good as I am watching right now. It's kind of wild.
that makes me feel very happy and very excited for the future of where this shit is going. So, with all that being said, everyone, we hope you're enjoying Chainsaw Man just as much as us. If not, I don't know, find something else that you do enjoy. And, with all that being said, remember, we love you, we'll leave you, and goodbye.